Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what should be an intriguing matchup between the Cleveland Browns and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Well, Coach, any Florida resident will tell you that afternoon pop-up showers and storms are the norm, and that's exactly what we have right now. Actually expecting a pretty steady rain throughout today here in Jacksonville at TIAA Bank Field. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Cleveland Browns and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Here we go. The final week of the NFL season. Week 17 is underway. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. So here's the first drive now for the Jags. Leading them out, the MVP of Super Bowl 52, Nick Foles.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
Hey, call one.
No gain on the dump-off. It's second down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Now the second down throw on target. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. 11 yards there, first down. From the 32 now, here's first and 10. Open man right side is Shark. No gain there on the completion. Second and 10. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. They're a top 5 unit right now against the pass in the league. In fact, they sit at number 5.
Defending the pass has not been one of their strong suits throughout the season, but they have any hopes of making waves in January. They've got to improve in this area.
And this Browns defense coming to life. They get him behind the line for a second straight play. It looks like a nickel set now for the Browns on third down. On the draw, this is Fournette. And he'll get this to the 40, but that's still going to be a few yards short of the first down. They'll get 11, but still a little short. Fourth down. They had quite a hole to dig out of there on third and long. Not able to get the first, but a pretty good-sized run.
A really good run, but how much confidence do you have in your next play call that you can sell to the head coach? Let's go get it on fourth down. Do you really have a play you believe in, or are you just hopeful? And you got to sell it to the big man before it gets called.
On fourth down, on is Logan Cook to punt. Back deep, Jarvis Landry. He only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. This is fielded at the 7. That'll be a 50-yard punt with 8 on the return. And the Browns will take over with a first and 10 deep in their own territory. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, first and 10 at their own 15. First carry for Nick Chubb. And from the 15, they're able to work this up to the 20 for a pickup of a handful.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. On the defensive side of the football, the starting lineup now for Jacksonville. They're going to need to be strong against the run in this one.
Stopping the run, that's been an issue for them all season long. Aren't you glad that you're not coaching the defense right now?
I'm very glad. They said that they've seen it in doses, but very, very small doses.
Yeah, you've got to be consistent. It's down in and down out, being able to play it, understand what you have to get done, and finally stop some people, put them on the ground.
On 2nd and 9, Mayfield. He's got the hook up to Odell Beckham. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. And this is certainly not what you want to see in the final week of the year. We'll be back. Now Mayfield running left on the option. 6 yards there on the keeper. It's 2nd down.
Oh, man, that wasn't far from breaking in a big way into the secondary. Read option, quarterback kept it. And while he didn't get a first down, he did get a nice chunk of yardage. Only a nice tackle prevented it from maybe going all the way.
They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. That one a first down pickup of 8.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
He'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6. A check on the numbers for Chubb from a week ago. 18 carries, 121 yards.
And they've already clinched a playoff berth, so I'm eager to see how they approach this game, because some teams' philosophy is to go ahead and get guys out. Other teams' philosophy...
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. David Njoku. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Well, these guys have won 3 straight ball games, and another good start to this one out to the 6-0 lead.
And I've talked with so many different coaches, as have you, along the way, and they always talk about winning streaks and the mood of a team and how much easier it is to actually prepare during that time. Guys are sharp, guys are focused, everyone's feeling good, and we're seeing it early in this one.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Leonard Fournette. Oh, Fournette loses it. It's out.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Give him 6 there, but now it's 3rd. And for the Browns, a nickel set here on 3rd down. Foles. Open man is Westbrook, complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. First time these two have hooked up this afternoon, and it's a first down. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times, because he can trust you being in the right spot and they connected there and picked up a first down.
Fournette, a first down carry. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last two plays.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. And this is certainly not what you want to see in the final week of the year. We'll be back. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Now Leonard Fournette, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys and continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well. The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. The Jags with their first opportunity in the red zone. It's 1st and 10 at the 14. Fournette running right. And this play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back to the 15. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down. Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter. 2nd quarter now from Jacksonville, and it's the Jags with the football as they've got it 2nd down and 11. 2nd quarter now from Jacksonville, and it's the Jags with the football. On 2nd and 11 now. Foles as they've got it 2nd down and 11. Great coverage there all around. Really didn't have many options to throw the football.
Very little chance that that one was going to be completed. Every receiver was locked up.
Now Foles. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And they're going to drop him well shy of the 1st as he can only make it to the 11. A gain of 4 on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. So I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone and get you 6?
This is fielded at the goal line. Touchdown, Cleveland. I know a lot of special teams coaches. They just want to keep it away from him because that's what he can do.
And others have egos that their players can't keep up with. And they say, challenge him, kick it to him. The way he runs as fast as he is, I wouldn't challenge him at all. I'd do everything possible to keep it away. He
is just a blur when he gets a full head of steam, and he got a full head of steam there. So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw. Fielded about a yard deep. Now a hit and a loose football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
Foles and the Jags come up now 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. Here's Foles. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. 22 yards on the catch and run, a 1st down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Now Foles off the play fake to Fournette. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Myles Garrett in there to get him, and that is now sack number 18 on the season for him. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
Well, Foles and the Jags now have to deal with a 3rd and long after that sack. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he'll get that to Fournette, complete. And they do get this across midfield to the 49, but a small consolation prize as he's well short of the 1st.
Well, that's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. So possession goes over here on the punt. And this offense is going to take over at their own 20-yard line. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the 1st half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
Now a throw here going to be taken in by the tight end Njoku. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. It's a pickup of 17 and a 1st down. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Mayfield hands it off to Chubb. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the 1st half. Maybe not so much in the 2nd half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Mayfield finding Beckham. And this will get him all the way inside of Jacksonville's 10. A big play that time for Cleveland. 55 yards. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
Mayfield looks to throw. They set up the screen to Chubb. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Nick Chubb hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. He was on point throwing the ball right there. He had the big play to get him down close, and then he delivers a touchdown pass on 1st and goal.
And you mentioned the big play that got him down close. I think that big play left him reeling a little bit. They didn't recover from it. And you know they always talk about having to have a short memory on defense after a big play against you. Looks like their memory was a little too long there.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. And it's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones not having balls go through goalposts.
And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a second and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. 2nd and 3. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Finds his tight end Oliver here outright.
That's what I'm talking about.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, like hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Browns will take over, 1st and 10. Baker Mayfield leads the offense out for their next possession. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence, does a great deal for your team, gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
A pass down the middle is fought for and hauled in. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. And this is certainly not what you want to see in the final week of the year. We'll be back. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. A run for Nick Chubb. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now Chubb. A gain of 3, 2nd down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. All right, coming up at intermission. Charles, you want to wait to enhance your Saturday?
I certainly do.
I've got just a thing for you. It's the coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by Orlando. He'll be alongside at half to take us through the weekend in the NFL. A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Jarvis Landry, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down. Well, prior to that, he had hit his first 6 passes to start the game, so on a nice little run to begin.
It feels like this offense has carried its dress rehearsal into the game. You know, because you do practice it, you do go through it, and in this case, it is clicking exactly like they drew it up.
They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us, that shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up first downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do it, especially early in the game like they have. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. From the gun, Mayfield. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. Antonio Callaway, his 2nd touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. Well, that's about as quick of a passing touchdown as you'll ever see right there.
Everyone has a section in their playbook called the quick game. That was a super quick game. Out of the hands of the thrower, bam, right to the receiver, successfully for a touchdown.
How in-depth is that quick game part of the playbook?
It's pretty in-depth because people want the ball in the hands of the quarterback into the playmaker's hands downfield as fast as possible. There are a lot of plays, a lot of options involved with that.
Here we go.
And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
Sharks got it, left side. A big play there just before halftime. 55 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flipped field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Now Fournette. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Second and 5 now. Foles. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down. The Jaguars on third down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. They'll look to throw. And he will not be able to get away as Foles is taken down. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. So out comes the field goal team now for the second time here today. From the left hash, this from 34. The kick by Lambeau is good. And they get a little bit closer here as the lead's down to 3 touchdowns. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
Now after the made field goal, back out Lambeau to kick this one off. This is taken at the 3. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. The offense trots back out there. Let's turn our focus now to Nick Chubb. Oh, looky there. He's getting close to 1,000. I'm sure he knows where he stands. I bet if the offensive line didn't know, he made sure they knew. I'm closing in, guys. Final week of the season.
You know who really informed the offensive line? The offensive line coach.
Okay.
Because it's a big deal for his unit as well to be able to say, hey, we escorted guys to 1,000 yards or more in the season, just like blocking for a 3,000-yard or 4,000-yard passer. So it's a lot of pride on the line, and his pride is paramount because he wants to be able to join that pantheon of guys that in the NFL ran for 1,000 yards or more in a season.
This is caught inside the 15. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Antonio Callaway in the final seconds of the first half. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strike ability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Very short kick. This will be taken by one of the up men. And they'll be set up pretty nicely here as they have it up to the 35-yard line. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. They'll throw now on the final play. He's going to loft it deep right sideline. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17 as we now go downstate to Orlando and check in with Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thank you as always. Welcome into our final regular season edition of our Halftime Report. Playoff lives hanging in the balance as we take...
Well, that came a little abruptly here. Still working on my apple up in the booth. Hang on here. Let me spit this out. And we can get to the third quarter now. This fielded at the 2. And he breaks it all the way out to the 38-yard line. Great return. The Browns offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And right now, a lot to like on that screen. They've wrapped up the division, now currently sitting in the coveted number 2 spot. Of course, you'd love number 1, but if you can't have one, number 2 is pretty good.
I agree with you totally, and here's the other part, too. The really good teams, the really confident teams, they're not as worried about being number 1. 2 is fine because they feel like they can go on the road and win against number 1 if they absolutely have to. The big thing, though, is clinching one of those early byes and able to sit and get a little rest as the playoffs begin.
They run again on first down. Chubb. And a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
A 7-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 3 at the 40.
From the 40 now on 2nd down. Mayfield. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. He was looking for Odell Beckham that time, and it's 3rd and short.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. Yeah, boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. The ball's still a few inches shy of the marker after the 3-yard run, so now a little soul-searching on 4th down. And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. And that will just add 3 more to a lead that's already out of hand. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Give him 14 on that one and a first down. Fournette running out of the gun. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. 8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2. Now whistles here. And I believe one of the Jaguar linemen might have moved. So that'll back him up 5.
Still 2nd down.
Now after the false start, here's 2nd and 7.
Come to my work. We want it. Come to my work.
After the penalty, it's Fournette. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. It's a first down on a gain of 10.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
Fournette. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty. Can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary, and that led to a really nice game.
On second down, here's Fournette. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1. They'll try and run for it with Fournette. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. It's a first down following a gain of 3.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? That looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you should have a few men in the box there.
And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. That one good for 17 yards, and now they've got it 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it with Fournette. And he's going to pull his way down to about the 1-yard line. A good pickup there, 7 yards, and it's going to be 2nd and goal now. 2nd and goal from the 1. 2nd and 1. Rush coming, and he's taken down. The safety, Morgan Burnett, that time gets home for the sack.
When you're this close to the goal line, you got to expect pressure from the defense, so the ball's got to come out fast. Got to get out of his hands quicker.
On play action, they'll throw. And this is caught by Lee. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Marquise Lee, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Jaguars make some inroads here on that deficit.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it worked very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down. So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Working out of the gun, Mayfield. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. On the carry, it's Chubb.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. And he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first, but at least it's 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him. That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. And that won't buy him much room. Just a 1-yard gain to the 5. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
That first down play, all you want to do is wedge out any type of space and try and create enough room If you have to run the punter out there, he can successfully complete the punt.
Yeah, didn't get a ton there, but at least some positive yardage.
Okay, every now and then, my defensive bias will leak out here. Abysmal play for them. You've got them backed up, and you let them out.
Couldn't take advantage. And you know who's happy? The punter. Because if he was needed, they gave him a lot of space to work with now.
Yeah, because he would have had a lot to think about, right? Don't step over the back line and give him a safety. Now he's got room if he needed it.
That one whistled against a big right tackle.
You'd think being able to fire out and block would be a lot easier to not commit a holding penalty, but it's tough to keep those guys right in front, isn't it?
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. He'll look to throw. High throw, but the catch is made. It's a solid pickup of 11, and it's second down.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
13. Hey, got tight left, tight his left. Hey, four down.
Throwing again on second down. Foles. And the Browns' pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
They'll set up a throw. That's to his running back, Leonard Fournette. It'll be a gain of 6, and that'll bring up fourth down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
He's going to go for a big play downfield. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. The Jags come up empty on fourth down. And the Browns are going to get this thing back. Excellent field position.
Hey, man. Watch the boot.
Chubb down to the 25. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
A gain there of 21 yards. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
On the ground, it's Chubb. And he takes this one in for a Brown score. Nick Chubb with touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year as his guys continue to pour it on. And, my friend, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much deceased at this point. It's taken a knee, so to speak.
It is definitely this victory formation. Take the snap, take the knee, call it a night, call it a game, call it whatever. I agree with you totally. I don't think there's much left to get except for those who want to run up the score.
I knew this was over about a minute ago when you took your stat sheet and just flipped it over your shoulder in the trash can.
Yeah, that's similar to the guys cutting tape off right before the game's over. We know this thing's done.
And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And it's all come down to this, hasn't it? Final week of the regular season. If this year's playoffs play out anything like the regular season has gone, could be in for a wild and fun month of January.
And we can break the rules because we can look ahead. All right, there's not a coach out there that's ever said to their team, all right, let's look three weeks down the road. It's always right here, right now. Forget that. Think about what the playoffs are going to look like. The teams that we see that are already in, the teams that are trying to get in, we could have some great matchups. Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a third and long. Now a hit and Foles loses the football. It's out. And this is picked up by the Browns. And he'll score. Touchdown, Browns. So the defense forces the fumble. They get the score, and a guy on defense becoming offensive there, Charles.
And you know they love that. Any guy on defense loves to pick up the ball and have it in his hands and try and score himself. In this case, that's exactly what happened.
He'll be singing in the shower postgame. Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And that will extend this big lead. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there. Grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out come the Jags. And that last possession, really a gut punch. You seemingly had it working. You were in the midst of a very strong drive, then suddenly the fumble, and you're watching the back of a defender's jersey as he brings it all the way in the other direction.
There's not much more I can add to that. I thought you summarized it perfectly, partner. You just got to regroup and start putting another drive together. That's all you can do.
Breaks the tackle, now Allen. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 23 yards on the play.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
And he's got this down to the 35. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? Back to throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. 4 receivers to keep tabs on here. 3 of them to the right side on 2nd and 5. 2nd and 5. This one caught over the middle. It's Oliver, the tight end. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Foles going to come up now, 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. They run it with Armstead. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12. A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. They keep it on the ground. This time it's Fournette. And this Browns defense coming to life. They get him behind the line for a 2nd straight play. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming. The run hasn't worked the last couple of plays. Now it's 3rd and 14. Foles. And he will find his man on the outside. That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability. Yeah,
you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
And the Browns are able to cover this one up. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10. That's good for a Cleveland 1st down, an 11-yard pickup.
Here we go. Now, that was a designed run. Now, remember, if a quarterback goes feet first, he's protected. But if he dives head first, he's not. On that play, he figured the risk was worth the reward.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And they'll take a knee as the clock runs under a minute to play. And with a 3rd and 13 here, the defense in a dime look.
Check pass.
And they take a knee. Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Cleveland, a final win here means they'll finish at 14-2. And now they'll have the week off as they get set to go after a Super Bowl title. Meanwhile, for Jacksonville, they wanted desperately to finish at 500, but that won't happen, as it'll be a 7-9 season in the